this is Kurt with the Kuhl Odyssey. We're back here again today in our Seneca Super C to discuss another issue that we're going to attempt to change in our RV. One of the things that we're envious of with all of our friends who drive Class A's is the fact that they can use their front seats as part of the living space. They rotate around. Ours do not rotate, so we're stuck with using things like these portable chairs to add more seating in the living area. So we've been toying around with the idea on figuring out if we can get these chairs to swivel. So we located a product online, we have it on hand, and today we're going to attempt to install it on the driver's seat and see if we're able to maneuver the driver's seat to spin around and not hit the steering wheel and give us an extra seat. While not ideal, they are a little lower than the rest of the room, it'll still be nice to have the extra seating. So we're going to give that a try today and see if we can make it work. Okay, so now here we are. We're over by the driver's side, and I'll give you a shot of what the seat looks like. So basically, there's this pedestal here that's built from the factory from Jayco, and the seat is held in place, the track, by 4 bolts. And our plan is to unbolt the seat, and the mechanism that I bought will go in between the seat and the frame. It is going to raise the seat about 1 5/8 inches. Here is the product that we bought. So this is a reinforced heavy-duty swivel. It's got the little release here is what allows it to swivel. The holes that are pre-drilled will line up with the holes in the track. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this unbolted and see if we can make it work. Okay, so there's the bracket. We had it all bolted in place, and the only issue we have is that a couple of the holes don't line up perfectly. So I'm going to have to drill 2 holes in the top of the swivel plate to line up with the bottom of the seat bracket, and I'm going to have to drill 2 holes to line up with this mounting bracket. But other than that, everything works. We were able to finish it, to spin it around, no problem, forward and back. So we'll go ahead and get these holes drilled, get it permanently mounted, and report back and see what we think. One issue that we have that not much we can do about it, since this is 1 5/8 inches high, when I sit in the seat, I lose a little bit of the upper vision with our cab over of the Super C. So I lose a little bit of my far distance looking high, or short distance looking high up. So one thing we may end up doing down the road is I might get these brackets rebuilt and shorten these brackets by 1 5/8 inches and lower this down, possibly to make up the difference, but we'll see. For now, I think it's going to be all right. Okay, so one issue we see here, we have our seat free right now. There's this piece that's covering all the electronics, and our new bracket needs to lay right on top of this flat bracket here, and this plywood goes over it. So we're probably going to have to, if this works, we're going to have to cut this plywood back so that this will sit behind the swivel. And for now, they just have 3 screws holding this little carpet flap on, so we're just going to unscrew it and get it out of our way for the moment while we attempt our install. Now we're just bolting the main bracket down, the new swivel bracket down to the existing seat bracket. Getting these bolts all lined up, and then we'll next bring in the seat after we get everything tightened down. Okay, probably not going to get much of a shot here, but now we're in the process of bolting the seat down. So we're putting the bolts up through the bottom, up into the top of the seat. Okay, so we've got this passenger seat all completed, bolted back down, and these are electric seats. So you can see the controls here on the front. One of the things we have to do to move these, swivel these around, you see the armrest can come into contact with this. Your hand's clear?
Yes.
So we actually have to move the seat forward. Then we can continue to swivel it around. I'm gonna go ahead and spin that guy. Hold on, we have definitely got an issue with the wires. Somehow we did this on the other one, didn't have this issue. So we're gonna have to figure out what we did with the wires on the other seat that allowed us to swivel them around. I think we went around the side over here. So we'll pause and see if we can fix that up. Okay, so we got the wire thing figured out. Go ahead and continue swiveling. So now we're swiveling around. And then one person, we just have to stay here to make sure we move these wires okay every time we spin it around. Okay, so I wanted to give one last shot here of the driver's side swivel, just to point out a couple of things. So this is how the swivel is. The seat's right now facing inside. One of the things I still have to do is these wires that run the electric seat. I am going to get some of this plastic wire loom to cover these to keep them from being nicked as the seat rotates around. And the other thing I had to do, I had mentioned before that we had this piece of plywood here that's covering a bunch of electronic items that are underneath. So I was able to trim this plywood back about 3 inches, reinstall the carpet here, and so now it works out to be flush with the bottom end of the seat swivel. So everything turned out nice and clean. You can kind of get a shot underneath. There's a lot of electronics and things underneath. So that's kind of a final view of how the driver's side turned out. Everything looks good, and again, great to be able to use these seats facing the other way. Okay, so now here we are back inside the RV for the debut of the Seneca Super C with front swiveling seats. So here's how it turned out. Tony's demonstrating. The one issue with them is that the seats are a little bit low because they're down in the cab area, and you do still have the side of the cabs to kind of obstruct your view a little bit looking into the coach, but having the extra seating in here makes a lot of difference. Definitely opens up the area for having other people in here, and then also on top of that it provides a much better viewing direction. So there's where our main television is over there. So with that big TV sitting here, this is about a perfect distance. Actually, it works pretty well. So it's nice having the extra seating. I wouldn't rate it as a very hard project. It isn't that bad. Cost wise, it was just under $280 each for the swivels with shipping. So also not the cheapest modification either, but for what we do, I think it's going to make a really big difference for us, and we're excited about it. So until next time, thanks for watching.